Welcome to the Manuchehri podcast. Over the last 30 years, it has been my joy to assist humanity in aligning with their magnificence so they may heal, discover their natural gifts, and communicate with loved ones living on the other side. May you also experience delight while we dance in the powerful, intuitive world of energy. Let's get going. Hello and welcome to where energy meets the divine. Please like and subscribe below if you're listening to this on YouTube and wherever you happen to be listening to this. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, I will, of course, be going to the phone lines and answering questions. But before I do that, I'm going to talk about play and why it's difficult sometimes to get into these higher vibrational experiences where you can actually start to have a life on earth that's really, really layered. But first I wanted to show you my little guest I have today. This is Lucy. She's my oldest daughter's dog, Mariam. Yeah, she's a Pom. I think you're 14, but you might be 15 soon because your birthday's in the fall. Yeah. So who knows, we might hear a little yapping. Charles is in here too. Who knows what's going to be going on, but she's super, super cute, isn't she? We don't consider her like but her cuteness outshines all of those other things, right, Lou? Okay. So when you live on Earth, which you and I are all doing, you want to have a layered effect on Earth. You do not want to be everything to be about seriousness and Earth details and in your mind thinking about Earth all the time. You need to incorporate happiness and playfulness, which is a very joyful energy. It's critical because in the non-physical realm where there's no wealth needed, housing, procreation, work, even eating food, none of that is necessary because we don't have bodies. There aren't that many realities where you have a physical form. Okay. Little Palm is sitting on some paper. All right. Oh, okay. She wanted to get in the chair. Okay. So you, to be really happy and fulfilled on Earth, you need to have layers of experiences. And if you just solely focus on human consciousness of this reality, it's not as fun. It's not as joyful. It's critical. You also have to have the human perception of reality, of course, but you need to be able to bounce up into higher frequencies and vibrations while you're also having a human and physical reality. That means you need to be consciously aware of your energy. You are in charge of your energy. I'm not in charge of your energy. Nobody else is in charge of your energy. So that means even when you're around people that their behaviors or choices or their vibrational system is not allowing you to be at a high frequency, you are still in charge of your energy. So you want to stay in your own body, stay beautifully in your own body, and recognize that whatever's happening around you, whatever chaos might be going on, logical or unlogical, it doesn't matter. There's an energy involved, and your job is to stay in your own body and to maintain your vibration. So when I offer tools and techniques, which I do in everything that I teach or speak about or have a podcast about, please try to practice them for more than a month. Like you have to give it at least 3 months of consistent practice to be able to notice, for most people, not everyone, some people who've already been working on their energy and have done a fair amount of internal work can flip the switch pretty quickly. But if you haven't, which is perfectly fine, or you haven't in a while, it's going to take some period of time. When the universe teaches me new techniques, I know that I need to give it at least 3 months to see how effective it could be. It could permanently alter an aspect of my consciousness and change an area of my belief system permanently. So give it at least 3 months before you make any permanent decisions. And humans overall, collectively, I think our species has like this disappointment vibration where we easily get disappointed if things don't work out the way we want to. And disappointment is a pattern. It's not a real feeling. It's a pattern. Okay, so those are my thoughts. And really work on whatever tools or techniques that I've suggested that you like, that seem fun for you or interesting, or you think that could be helpful for a minimum of 3 months, and then make some sort of educated decision about, do I feel better? Are things starting to improve in my life? has the one thing that I want to change in my life is beginning to shift. When we have a belief in our brain, which humans create most of their beliefs before the age of 5, and that's why humanity doesn't even know what they believe in, because most people don't remember whatever was going on in their brain when they were under the age of 5, that these are the beliefs that we're breaking down. And so it takes a little bit of time to change the belief system of a 3-year-old or a 2-year-old or a 1-year-old or a newborn. It takes a little while to build up a different type of belief system and frequency and vibration in order to eradicate some misperceptions that may have happened when you were a toddler, based on what you heard, what you felt, things that you perceived that were happening to others. If we don't have parents or family course correcting, because children are geniuses, just like animals. Animals are so smart, incredibly brilliant, incredibly brilliant, more so than human adults. And children are brilliant too, but they also need guidance. They need a lot of guidance. They need to be told the truth about situations and circumstances. And most adults do not do that. They either think their kids don't understand that concept of whatever it is that they think their child needs to learn later on in life, or they just think their kid isn't really paying attention. And that's not true. Kids are like sponges. They just absorb information and make their own perceptions based on where they are chronologically and what the environment around them shares with them. So we want to shift our belief system that we're unaware of. And in order to do that, we need to have a vibrational shift in consciousness. So it means you have to change your energy, and it's your energy. It's up to you to change it. We can't wait for the world to change in order for you to feel better or happier or more fulfilled. That's ridiculous. You can't wait for your family to change in order for you to discover your gifts or become financially comfortable. That's also ridiculous. Everything is about the individual. So you need to work on your own energy, your own belief system, change your own life regarding about what's ever happening in the world or in your family or your corporation, your neighborhood. You are responsible for your own energy. Yeah, that's the truth. So practice these techniques that I talk about on this particular podcast, or if you happen to be taking a class of mine. I believe all my fall and winter classes that I'll be offering, except for I'll be teaching a 20-week class for the Shift Network beginning in October. And we usually don't post that until a few weeks before. But I like to post my personal classes way in advance so people can plan for them. But yes, winter and so fall and winter are up on the website right now for my own platform. So if you find something you like, take a class. They're really, really fun. Okay, so we're going to go on to these voicemails that people so kindly leave on my website. You go to the podcast page at energyintuitive.com. You leave a voicemail. You get about 3 minutes, and you get a free self-hypnosis meditation that you get to use. I recommend you listen to it for 30 days. And I answer your question to the best of my ability. Okay. And we do get emails from people telling us that their question was, the answer was very, very helpful. So I'm grateful. Okay, here we go.
Hi, Marie. My name is Tennille from Colorado, and I am calling because I have what I call spidey senses in the world of seeing somebody getting a hit that they're sick, going to be sick, going to die, always strangers. It's maybe been one person or two that I've ever known that I've got that hit on. I have been diving into spirituality and medical intuition for the last couple years and trying to figure out where I fit in this world and what my gifts are meant to do and be for others. I have taken several classes on the Shift Network with different healers and trying to figure out where I'm supposed to go and what I'm supposed to do. And I still can't quite figure out what I'm meant to do with these gifts, or if anything at all. I do know that I'm meant to help people. In what sense, I still haven't figured that out yet. I do a lot of meditation and trying to dive in, and I feel like there are some blocks for me that I'm just not overcoming. And so I'm just wondering if I can get help with those blocks and maybe some guidance on what the heck supposed to do with these awesome spidey senses. And I guess I wouldn't really call them awesome because I don't really like them because I don't know what to do with them. And maybe if I did, I can help people. So thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.
Of course, you're welcome. You like them. You're just frustrated because you don't know what to do with them because you are trying to figure this out with your logical mind, and that's impossible. Every professional, successful psychic does not use their brain to understand their spidey senses. We learned that really early on that that's just going to make us frustrated and a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You do need to get happier. You have to raise your vibration. So let's say that I don't know how often you get these spidey experiences, but that's great. That's wonderful. And if you want to use them to help other people, that's great. I do want you to first figure out what brings you joy, and I want you to focus on what makes you happy. That's what I want you to focus on. One of the reasons why I teach mainly online because it brings me joy. If I do, 2 to 4 in-person classes per year, I'm really happy. But in-person classes take more time and energy, more resources. I have to find a hotel. We have to make sure that people have a place to stay. We have to make sure they have good food. It's just a lot more work, even if I'm not doing the grunt work, because I have assistants to do that. I still have to make those decisions. So it's a very different ball game where I can jump online, teach for 90 minutes, and go off and have a meal and walk a dog. So what's really important for you right now is you've got to follow your joy, and you're not doing that. I mean, you are to some degree, but you're not really feeling your joy. You're following frustration, you're following irritation, and you're trying to understand it. Immediately stop that. No more trying to understand frustration and irritation. That's a waste of your time. That's a human process, which is not helpful or effective or necessary. So you have to move into the multisensory way of experiencing life. And intuition makes no sense. And that's part of, logical science. It makes more sense than anything logical, like 1,000 times more effective than logic, but it will never still make sense to the logical mind. So you have to get out of trying to figure this out from a logical experience. And I know some of my examples because people think that becoming a nurse is like a normal, healthy uh, occupation. And of course, I loved it very much, but I was raised in a family that would completely disagree with that statement. So my brain was triggered very differently to not do logical things, or certainly not in the healthcare industry. Yet I followed my joy. My logical mind said, don't ever become a registered nurse ever. My mom's 87, still refuses to go to an MD. I think she actually did have sort of a kind of checkup recently, but has decided not to follow any of that, which is fine. It's her decision. She's 87 and is not on any prescription drugs. But my family's feisty, the majority of my family, about not following modern medicine. They like holistic medicine, which is great. And so that's why my brain, if I listened to my brain, I would never have gone to nursing school. I would certainly never worked in a hospital. I definitely would not have worked on an oncology floor, but that's where my psychic ability opened up, is on the onc floor. Now, when you raise your vibrations, you can understand. I'm sure I've had many, many lifetimes in modern medicine because I actually happen to love it. I think it's cool. I think it's interesting. I prefer holistic medicine first and foremost, but if I had a lot of plaque in my arteries and my doctors wanted me to do some open heart surgery and I tried all the holistic things and it wasn't working, I would go have that procedure if it was life threatening or really important. So what I'm trying to say is don't try to figure this out. Begin to feel when you are feeling joy and start following it. Get curious about joy. Curiosity is a very high frequency and a very high vibration. You will never figure it out. It will absolutely never make sense to you, ever. So that's the issue. That's the problem. And try it for 3 months. Try to turn off your brain for 3 months and stop trying to analyze it and go follow joy, even if the joy is that you're going to stand in the rain and look at butterflies for a few moments. I don't care what it is. It doesn't matter. But if you follow the joy, that's where our gifts are. That's where all the things we really want in life exist, in the vibration of joy, not in the mental vibration of figuring things out. It's not healthy. I hope that's helpful. That was a good question. Thank you.
Hi, Marie. This is Susan from Tennessee. I have a million questions to ask you, but I'm just going to stick to
Million.
asking you a very simple question.
Okay.
If it's possible for you to see how many guides I have, how are they trying to get my attention, and if so, what are they trying to tell me? I know there's some message out there for me. I just can't really understand what it is. I would love for you if you would be able to tell me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Susan from Tennessee. You have 9 guides, which means that you're most likely planning not to have many more lifetime experiences on Earth. You're going to spend more time in other dimensions. That's what the number 9 means to me for guide groups. But your guides are also wanting your consciousness to expand because they want to add um, 2 more guides to they want you to have the number 11, which is a master number. It's also about great partnership when people have 11 guides. So they're trying to get you into a frequency or vibration to get you to up your consciousness so that more guides can come in. And here's what I hear them telling you. And this is not uncommon, by the way. They're telling you how much they love you. Many times the universe, which could be guides, archangels, God, your higher self. I kind of don't care who's talking to me, honestly, but it is fun to have an awareness of what is speaking to you or what's trying to communicate to you. I kind of look at it this way, that the universe is doing everything they can to get through every individual human's resistance so that the person can receive knowledge. And sometimes people are just more comfortable with guides versus an archangel or angels or their dead loved ones or God, so it's kind of like the universe goes, no, she'll take the guides. Okay, let's imprint some information from the guides. But I hear them loving you. So that's how you're going to know that you are auditorily or visually experiencing them, is when you start to feel loved. I would work on that. I would definitely, I would first work on loving yourself, but as soon as you feel any kind of, energy of love and you don't know where it's coming from, it's from your guides. And that will help you to kind of get out of the way and focus on that vibration and let yourself absorb the knowledge. Okay, good question. Thank you.
Hi, Marie. My name is Robin. I'm in Portland, Oregon, and I have a question about the cause or solution to some balding spots in my hair for the last few years. I'm super healthy, but I have these balding patches, and I would love to hear what you get. Thank you.
Hi, Robin. Well, the seventh chakra governs all the skin on the body, and the seventh chakra is connected to one's connection to spirit. So it could be that you're not taking in enough energy from spirit, which is a really letting go process. Before I got a dog, I'm just using this as an example. I was actually very afraid of dogs. I still kind of am. Like, one of my neighbors has a German Shepherd. He got a new dog after his beautiful um, Burmese mountain dog passed away. They don't live very long. And for people who like big dogs, sometimes they don't live very long. And so he went to a shelter, of course, and got this German Shepherd that's gorgeous. But, it's kind of growly, barks really loud. And I was bit by a German Shepherd when I was a teen. So from that moment on that I got bit, I've been afraid of dogs. I mean, I've been one of those people who stands on a chair and screams, even if there was a little dog. Other than Lucy, I've known her since she was a baby. So it never occurred to me to have a dog, even though 2 of my kids told me for years, Mom, you should really get a dog. Mostly because I love to walk. I'm a big walker. I like to hike. I probably walk, with Charles. So I'm not talking about the house and all of that, but outside 5 miles a day. It's kind of our normal, if you will. So, um, my brain was, don't get a dog. Don't ever get a dog. You're a cat person. I've had so many cats. I mean, tons of cats in my lifetime. But I kept thinking, like, wow, these dogs, I kept looking at um, breeder sites after work, like all over the country, mostly doodles, because I really wanted a poodle mix kind of dog if I ever got one. And after doing that for a couple years, I could finally hear the universe saying, what about getting a dog? And so I finally did. So what I'm trying to tell you is that you're not listening to the universe. That's why you're having issues with baldness. There are two things you could do mechanically, because as a healer, I love to move energy. I love to teach people things. But because we're in physical form and the majority of the population's consciousness is not very elevated, I also believe in adding some mechanical things. So some human aspects, like in this case, what helps hair growth and skin is near infrared and red light therapy. I've been talking about it forever. Platinum therapy is one of my favorites. So you could consider that. Red Rush is also a good company as well. It's near infrared and red light. Red light alone will not stimulate hair follicles enough. You need near infrared, which is the laser goes deeper into the body. That's why it can positively affect organs and bones. It's has incredible results. And it's just good for people. Plus, it's a mood elevator. I've always seen, before I actually saw the red light panels, I in my mind, I would see this closet. It was the universe telling me, the future and what would be good for humans, probably to help me buy red light panels when they became available and when they came into my sphere of awareness. So I would see this closet where humans would just walk in for 10 to 15 minutes a day and get zapped by very powerful light that feeds the mitochondria in the body, which is what near infrared and red light therapy does. It feeds the mitochondria. There's not a lot that can get deep into the body to feed the mitochondria, which is one of the reasons why people will have chronic health issues like fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue for decades and have naturopaths and all of that. There's going to be some victim consciousness in those disease processes for sure. And of course, it's been logically created. But I see these light boxes that we're going to have in my lifetime, where we just walk in, maybe with our morning cup of tea before we even hit the shower, and get beautiful light into our body that feeds the mitochondria. So that would be number one. And you need hormones. Hormones help with hair follicles and growth, as long as you don't have a history of cancer, which I don't believe you do. Then you could be a candidate. I would always recommend compounded hormones that are prescribed by a naturopath or an allopathic physician that can only be created in compounded pharmacies. Those are healthy hormones, not the pharmaceutical grade hormones that MDs order. Those are not healthy for humans. Humans should not use those. Those are not healthy. Oh, those are my thoughts. I hope that's helpful. Thank you.
Oh, hi Marie. My name is Beth. I found you through Alex Ferrari and the number 111. That's a story. We don't have time. I am a 2-time cancer survivor. I live in Seattle and I was looking for an energy healer when you came along. I'm kind of I kind of struggle with balancing between the Eastern Western medicine thing. Like I really would like nutritional advice. And I'd love to know what chakra I should prioritize. I'm really curious as to my spiritual guides. Sort of looking for a prescription, being a 2-time cancer survivor and you an oncology nurse.
Yeah.
Look forward to hearing your response. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. And thank you for surviving times 2. I think that's great. Congratulations. I think it is an interesting game being, going back and forth. Your body looks really clean to me and clear. I think this has done a lot of important inner work for you. You pay attention to your body to some degree, which is fantastic. But when I look in your second chakra, which is a critical point for people to have an awareness of, because the second chakra connects to the second layer of the auric field, which is called the emotional response system. And that's that place where people actually feel their authentic emotions. I know I've said this on the podcast many times, that people don't feel their emotions. So they don't really know what to work on. They don't really know what's going on inside of them. It's a very fascinating and I think big opportunity for us to, kind of shape shift our multisensory abilities by getting to our true emotions. So when I look in your second chakra, which governs reproductive organs, kidneys, adrenal glands, the bladder, and the appendix, just to name a few, it's kind of vacant in there. So it just tells me you don't feel authentic emotions as much as I would like you to. I would practice resting in that part of your body and just be curious about it. Not forcing yourself to know what you feel about things, but just sitting there and being curious and wondering, what am I really feeling? Real emotions are always calm and I mean that, even if people are really angry, authentically in grief, there's a calmness. Most people, when they have flashes of anger, they're not angry. They're probably really sad. Like, people use anger to cover bigger emotions like deep sorrow. Um, so if you could start resting there and finding out what you're feeling, I think that's going to help. Diet wise, I think you've cleaned up your diet pretty well. I'd love for you. I know you're happy when you use the word survivor, but can you say thriver instead? Because survivor means like, and I'm sure it was challenging and difficult. I don't want to, by any means say that it wasn't, but we need to change the language a little bit so that we can so you can absorb more energy in your body that has nothing to do with cancer. And maybe find a different word for cancer too. What we speak goes out into the world and then comes back to us like a boomerang. So it's important for people to be creative with their language and use words that actually help with their vibration. Like, the word soulmate does not make my body happy at all. It's a low frequency vibrational word for me. I like words like earthmate. That phrase is a higher frequency for me than the word soulmate. So this is what happens when people feel their real emotions. They can tell when they're having a reaction, positive or negatively, and then they can change their language, they can change their thoughts. And it doesn't matter what other people think about it. Nobody has to know that you're using different language or whatnot. So those are my thoughts. Okay. Thank you. And congratulations.
Hi, Marie. My name is Nadine. I'm from Wyoming. I was also a registered nurse for 15 years. And then in 2012, I transitioned and became a massage therapist. And currently am still practicing massage therapy. In August, I had to have foot surgery, developed a complication, had to have an additional surgery in October, and then developed CRPS, which is complex regional pain syndrome. So I just recently returned back to my massage practice, and I am finding that physically it is too demanding.
Yeah.
So I'm at a crossroads of trying to figure out a new career choice. And one of the options I've been looking into is hypnotherapist and past life regression therapy. And I've been looking into one particular school that's located in California. So my question to you is how to tap into my spirit guides in helping me make this decision. And also, with your intuition, do you think that this is the right path for me? One of the most important things for me is that I continue to work in a career that I am able to help people. So I would appreciate any guidance from you. And I love your podcast and just really look forward to hearing what you think about my situation. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.
Thank you, Nadine. I'm so sorry for the problems that you had post-surgical, both that you needed surgery and then post-surgical. You need near-infrared and red light therapy. Your mitochondria are exhausted. So it's when the mitochondria aren't working well in the cell, which is a common problem on Earth, unfortunately, then it's hard to recover. We may need more procedures. But this could also be the universe trying to get you to not stand on your feet all day long because you've already had a career doing that. I like the idea of the hypnotherapy. If I had my choice and I really, really, really wanted to study hypnotherapy in a significant way, I think I wanted to do that like at least 6 or 7 years ago. I would study it at the Narapo, I believe it is, University in just outside of Boulder, Colorado, or right around that area. There's a book that I read that I love. I love the book. It is kind of a complicated class. I mean, it takes time, and I didn't have the time to fly there and take the classes, unfortunately. But obviously, I do enough, and even though I haven't had professional training, I have taken a course online from a small course, and of course, I've practiced it with a lot of clients and students. So I do it in my, for meditations and all of that within my courses, but that's the course I would take. I'm going to have time today, so I'll put a link underneath, or you can write into the website energyintuitive.com and I will have found all the information for you. So that's what I would do. I think it's going to be very cool. It's a really good school. I'm not sure about the one in California, but when you're making a decision, it just has to bring you joy. So the only problem with that is if people don't know how to feel joy, then they can't recognize it. So if that's the case with you or anyone who's listening, practice the vibration of joy so you can start recognizing when it shows up, because it is a ding, 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 ding for everyone, for everyone. Again, I would not choose a career only on the premise, and I'm not saying that you're doing that per se, of helping others. I would prefer that you choose a career because it brings you happiness and fulfillment. And when people do that, regardless of what that career path is, it will help the human race. So I want you to choose what's going to make you happy, not what you think people need. Because if you choose what makes you happy, you're going to step into your skill set. You're going to move into higher vibrations of your magnificence. You could create something that nobody else does. You definitely will have your own swing to it. So if you don't know what joy feels like, you need to practice it, because it really is a necessary vibration for humanity. If we got a certain percentage of humans to be in joy, which could be just like, I don't know, 300 to 400,000 on a regular basis, imagine what that would do to Earth. Earth would change dramatically. And when I see Earth changing, which may not have that dramatic change during my lifetime here, it will most likely happen after, then the Earth's going to move up into another completely different realm of consciousness. I mean, literally, it will move its placement in the universe. It will move up. And as it moves up, eventually the Earth will dissipate, because the Earth was created to have these contractual experiences. That's why when spiritual teachers say there's nothing wrong with Earth, they're not kidding. The universe says that there's nothing wrong with Earth. It was created to be this way. And everyone who comes here, including cows and sheep, horses, cats, dogs, humans, birds, one-cell organisms, oceans, glaciers, before they come here, they know exactly why they're choosing to come here. And they come here for very, very good reasons. And it's obviously a place of popularity. The Earth is inhabited by 8 billion human souls and countless others. So, so I'm telling you that because once the Earth goes up to this higher frequency, whenever it does that, again, many, many moons from now, like probably hundreds of years from now, eventually it's going to even leave this atmosphere, because this atmosphere can only hold a certain frequency. And with Earth, it doesn't have that vibration anymore. It's going to go off to another sphere of reality. And then the Akashic Records will go too, because the Akashic Records is only for human souls. When I told that to Alex Ferrari on a podcast, he didn't like that. At least I don't think he did. He probably did, but he was like, what? Because he loves the Akashic Records. So I hope that's helpful. You need red light therapy, near infrared and red light. I know I sound like a broken record, but there are certain things that actually help humans at this particular time of consciousness, where other things aren't as helpful anymore, and our consciousness is not elevated for the other things that could be helpful. So when someone like myself, like an intuitive who has specialized in human health, I have a good idea what will help a lot of humanity. Not everyone, and I read personally, but a lot of people benefit from near infrared and red light therapy. That a certain combination, like platinum therapy and Red Rush have. Okay, I hope that's helpful.
Good morning, Marie. This is Chris Curtis from, all over. I don't have a home. I'm retired and I just travel to places. My thing is I'm extremely healthy on nothing, but my skin tears so easily. It's ridiculous. I think my father had this, but now at 68, it's irritating for me. I'll just skim past a door, and if the knob hits me, it tears my skin. I was wondering if you could do a body scan on me and see what is going on and why I keep doing this. Hopefully it's letting some light out. But no, if you could seriously help me, I sure would appreciate it. I love you to pieces. Thank you for what you do. and I look forward to hearing your reply. Thank you.
Hi, Chris. And I'm so sorry that happens to you. I've witnessed it many times as a nurse on the floor with patients much older than you, people in like their late 80s, early 90s. It's really because you don't have a lot of collagen and there's probably been sun damage. So maybe you didn't wear sunscreen, which I'm guilty of. I didn't wear sunscreen because I just had this false premise that because there's overcast always in the Northwest, that I'm not getting that much sun exposure. And I was a big gardener. And of course, I was a teen in the 70s. So I'm sure I used, Crisco oil in the backyard on a towel, to tan. But yes, so you have damage. Again, I'm going to sound like a broken record. That near infrared and red light therapy heals skin. It was why it was originally created, actually to help with skin conditions, not just, not having enough collagen, but things like psoriasis and eczema. I can't say that word, eczema. It was there to help those. So this could help very, very well. And then once your skin gets stronger, and so I would wear sunscreen if you're going to be out and about, because we don't want you to have any more sun damage. I think you've got a combination of sun damage and low collagen. Some hormones could be helpful because hormones actually help skin. But a lot of people don't know, based on my perception, but my naturopath doesn't agree with this statement. So, just a FYI, I think that estrogen is a natural anti-inflammatory. And so when it starts to go down in the body, then we get inflammation of certain parts. Everyone's unique and different in terms of where their inflammatory process will be. Skin is related to not letting the heavens love you. And you have this bubbly, kind, playful personality. You give out a lot of light. You need to take more in. So could you be like, be a sponge and absorb huge amounts of energy? If and when your skin starts to improve, what I would recommend, and this is going to sound counterintuitive, but if I said if and when, that means your skin's starting to improve, then having very light microneedling, because microneedling, when you have some, organized professional damage done to your skin, it activates collagen, which makes the skin stronger and starts to build up the layers of skin. So that's what I would recommend once you get down to that space. But I think the near infrared and red light therapy will help. And if you happen to do platinum therapy, you can call them and talk to them. I've never called them. I don't make any money from them, by the way. None of the products I mentioned know that I even talk about them probably. So I don't get any resources from those organizations. But you could call them and talk to them, and they could talk to you about ways to how far to place the machines and how long to be near them. But it's very effective. Near infrared and red light therapy. My dermatologist owns one of those panels. Yeah. Okay. I hope that's helpful. On to the next person.
Hi, Marie. My name is Teresa, and I'm from Bradenton, Florida. My question is mostly about my health. I have severe COPD, and I'm wondering if there's anything I can do to further improve my breathing.
Right.
I moved in with my sister
Good.
a couple of years ago.
Good.
And I was doing pretty well. I was seeing an acupuncturist, and I was getting around well. And then suddenly I had to go on oxygen 24/7.
Right.
No one, even the doctor, could figure out what happened so suddenly. I was wondering if there's a possibility that there is something in my home that may be making my condition worse. Also, I'm extremely sensitive to smell to the point where I pretty much refuse to go any place where I think someone may be wearing cologne or perfume. The last time I went to the Olive Garden, I almost passed out right after I came into the restaurant because one of the servers smelled like he had bathed in his cologne. It's really become difficult. So I'm wondering if you could possibly advise me. I'd appreciate anything. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Bless you as well, Teresa. I'm so sorry for the COPD. So for those people who are listening, it's chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. And if we look at the way modern medicine looks at it, it typically worsens over time. And what happens for non-COP people, the drive we have to breathe is when our carbon monoxide gets to a certain level in our body, we take a breath so we can take in oxygen. When people get COPD, that drive has left their body, and now oxygen, I don't really understand the full concept, but theirs is more an oxygen drive to breathe. And the unfortunate part about that is we can't give them too much oxygen because then they won't have any drive to breathe. So it's not a fun disease. It's pretty chronic. It can last for decades or a long period of time for individuals. So I'm very sorry, Teresa, that you're having this experience. So the heart chakra governs the lungs and the heart muscle, the thymus gland, the upper back. And the heart chakra is the highest receptivity center in the physical body. So it takes in huge amounts of energy. It's possible that something's in your home. You were already environmentally sensitive. So I understand. I don't like perfume. I don't think perfume's healthy for people to wear, let alone let it be out in force in the world. I think if people want to wear perfume, they should wear oils, natural oils like, lilac or something from the Hawaiian Islands, an oil that's natural based, because that's probably healthy for their body. And then the rest of us don't have to break down the chemicals. But when people have sensitivities to smells like that, like in your case, Teresa, it means that you are environmentally sensitive. And so your immune system's been depleted for a while. By the time someone has some environmental sensitivities, their immune system's been depleted. It looks like the third layer of your auric field. I can't see it. So you're not having protection in the mental plane. You're probably pretty self-critical. And the mental plane is best friends with the third layer of the third chakra, and the third chakra is the immune system. So there's a very simple exercise. It's in The Hands of Light by Barbara Brennan. It's called the auric exercise. If you don't have that book, just write to us and we will make sure you get a copy of the exercise, energyintuitive.com. And you need near infrared and red light therapy, because what we want to do is beef up, especially the alveoli in the base of your lungs, so that they can move fluid out of the lungs. And we want to build the lung tissue. So near infrared and red light therapy will work amazingly well. You're right. There could be something wrong with the house, but I'm so happy your sister's there to help you. You need help. You do. You need help. So I'm happy that you're there, and I'm very sorry this happened. Here's your what if question / prayer. Thank you, creation, for allowing me to learn at my highest and greatest ability the vibration of receptivity. And what if I easily receive all that I truly deserve, which will only be love and kindness and energy for healing? That's what we want you to do. You need to take in a lot of energy. We need to beef up the alveoli at the bottom of your lungs and reprogram your body, get COPD in a different venue, which can happen, by the way. If you start to do some near infrared and red light therapy, that means have a panel at home and sit in front of it for 5 to 10 minutes twice a day. That's what that means. And then, we could see some magic happen. And believing that you are deserving of love, because there's some belief that you are not. And there's quite a bit of self-criticism in your brain, which is really the true creator of this disease process for you. Okay, I hope that's helpful. Thank you.
Hi, Marie. This is Janet. I have a really clear vision that I will be birthing healthy triplet boys. This vision makes me super, super happy. I feel myself pregnant for months and then discover eventually, of course, that there's nothing there. So this has recently happened for at least the third time. So I'm asking if you would check with my guides. to help me understand what my body is actually communicating to me with all of this bloating, cramping, fatigue, and that kind of stuff that I've been interpreting as my dreams being realized. Secondly, what is the lesson that I'm supposed to be learning through this by experiencing like this profound joy and then disappointment? And then thirdly, I'd really like to know if I'm misunderstanding something, because I feel so clearly that one of the main purposes of my incarnation here is to raise my own children. But since there's been obstacle after obstacle, failure after failure with this, perhaps I'm misunderstanding something. So any insight you can give me into this scenario? I'm obviously having a very difficult time being objective, because I keep, seeing all sorts of signs that yes, this is finally it, when in fact it's not. So I'm looking for somebody who's much more objective, who can shine some light for me and help me to find my direction. Thank you.
You're welcome, Janet. I'm so sorry this has been so hard. These visions, dreams that you're getting are not from your intuition, they are from your ego. So, you really, really want your own children, but I promise you, however children come to you through your own, vagina or from someone else's, they are your children. It doesn't really matter how kids get to someone. It doesn't matter at all. Every child who's been adopted has gotten to the correct parents. And of course, kids who don't like their adoptive parents will hate what I'm just saying, but a lot of kids who are born to their family don't like their parents either. So honestly, it doesn't matter. Everybody gets to the correct destination. Souls do not make mistakes. They're geniuses. They're planning how they arrive to Earth and who their parents will be. This is the truth. This is the greatest truth. So if you really want to have kids, you got to get rid of this whole human limited concept about that they're yours. Souls are their own entities, and DNA means nothing on the other side. It means a lot to humanity, which is, my guys often laughed when I worked on clients in person, and people would talk about, a family member that they don't really enjoy, but they feel obligated to care for them or spend time with them because, oh, that's my mother, that's my sister, that's my brother, that's my dad. And the universe would laugh a little as I was, listening to the lovely human being that I was working with. And they would say, only real family are people who are in your life where you feel loved, adored, and cherished. That is the true definition of family, period. So someone could have a mom and they don't feel any of those feelings. That's not their mother. That is a soul. Everyone's a soul. And so if you want to have, this is what I want you to focus on, that the true children come to you that are your real family. And I also think there's something else you want to birth besides children. That could be part of it. There's something else you want to birth besides children. So if you really want kids, go find them, go get them. Don't wait to get pregnant. I mean, maybe you'll get pregnant if you let go and know that these visions that you're getting are from your ego. Real visions are calm, compassionate. All intuition are these things, and a little bit surprising. Not a lot surprising, not like and not this very high frequency of, oh my God, of that almost intense joy where it's almost fakey. It's so calm. It's incredibly relaxed. Intuition is like that. So that's what you need to be looking for. Go get some kids. Go find them. Let your uterus have a break. Okay. And you never have to do anything I say. Nobody has to. These are my intuitive perceptions, but you get to do whatever you want. Free will is the strongest law in all of the universes. Okay, well, I guess we're done. Everyone, thank you so much for listening. Again, my fall and winter classes are up on the website. I will be teaching a 20-week advanced healing course on the Shift Network beginning in October. So you can wait for that if you want to. And I'm currently looking at a facility in Ireland where I might do a retreat next year. And we will always carry an interest list for anyone who wants to participate in a retreat. 7 to 8 days internationally is how I do it. So if you're interested, you can just write into energyintuitive.com and we'll let you know my final choices and decisions way before. I like to give people plenty of time. I'm one of those teachers. I don't like to put things up and say, oh, you have a week to make a decision or a day. That's not how I roll. I like people to not feel desperate. I want them, if they need to save their pennies for an event, I want them to have the time to do that, or the time to just make a clear decision that that's where they really want to be. So we'll have, more information probably in the next month in terms of international retreat next year. Today is May 2nd, 2024. Joyful blessings. Bye-bye for now.